Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to M4J-Hatfield Racing here on F1 2021. Exciting news, F1 22 has been announced, and some of the stuff in it looks pretty damn cool. I'm very much looking forward to checking it out. But for the meantime, we are slogging it out still here on F1 2021. Me struggling to get the car to even go in a straight line at the moment with the traction control and ABS still off. Do I regret my decision? Yes. Do I think it was the right decision still? Maybe. Jury's still a little bit out on that one, to be perfectly honest with you. It's good in that every now and then I do put a decent section of corners together and I think, okay, this might be the one. But then, as you'll see in this weekend, it can still go very, very wrong. And my delta is terrible. You can see here I'm losing tenths per corner. And there's a lot of corners here in Australia. We're in Australia, by the way, for the Australian Grand Prix. Pretty sure I forgot to mention that. And yeah, it's just a struggle. It is an absolute struggle. As Tom's put in my notes here, this is the only lap I managed to complete in P2. The only complete lap in P2. There were other times where I kind of just went over the line anyway just to complete the lap. But this was really, really hard. And locking up is something... Trying to hear if I do it there. I think I lock up there. I basically locked up on every single corner. And the way F1 cars work is you lock up once, you flat spot the tyres, and it's just going to increase the likelihood of locking up again. And sure enough, that's what ends up happening. Not just during practice, but also during qualifying and also during the race. Slight spoiler alert, I'm not winning this week's race. It's hell on earth. It really is. I'm sure it's worth it in the grand scheme of things to be able to drive comfortably and confidently with all assists off, but for now at least it is an absolute nightmare. The good news is the real life F1 drivers struggled around Australia as well, so it's not the most confidence damaging, but at the same time it could still be better, and this montage here will prove how bad it actually got. Thanks, Tom, for that. I did ask him to include more of my crashes in these highlights videos, just so I have something else to talk about rather than just driving around in last place all the time. And yeah, P2, not so good. That was just P2, by the way. All of that was P2. That was me frantically attempting to complete a lap. As it happens, me, Latifi, and Raikkonen aren't actually that far off in the timesheet, so I don't know what happened to those two, but... yeah, for me at least, it was an absolute catastrophe. For those two, it must have been even worse than an absolute catastrophe because, you know, I'm terrible. They must have been really bad to only just be ahead of me. And it was pretty close. It was pretty close.
Not a great day out there today. Let's talk about what happened. What caused that issue in practice? And you really put a lot of effort into practice. Do you have any comments about this team? Thank you for your time.
So as you can see there, I went for the sassy approach with Claire. Decided to not answer any of the questions. Went with a no comment on every single one of them. One thing I will mention now is I recorded this. So this is going up this week, obviously. I recorded this just after the Australian Grand Prix. So the track layout that I'd been watching on the TV is not the track layout that I was then driving here. Now, I'm not using that as an excuse. It was something that I picked up on. But really what let me down was the assists. The assists and my driving style. And I theorized in Brazil that downshifting quickly and then using engine braking was a solution to the lockup problem. And it is. It absolutely is. I've seen it confirmed by a few people in various different sources now. You got downshift quickly and then like not pump the brake like I do. And I've changed my brake settings a little bit to try and stop me from pumping the brake. I've made the brake pedal a little less sensitive to start with and then increase the sensitivity as you keep pressing it. But still, I'm in a situation where I'm just locking up constantly. And I'm watching this replay here, apart from clipping the bollard there and just completely cutting that corner and then somehow holding the slide. So far, not so bad. But I think up here, just listening for the noise. I think, was that a lock up there? That might have just been the engine I was hearing. Some of these corners, like this bit here, not so bad. Not so bad. Not very fast, but not very slow either. Also, this last corner here is meant to be taken full throttle. Sometimes I was able to do it, sometimes I wasn't. Very much depended. But yeah, right now, not very fast lap times. You can see there, I'm struggling. Dead last, basically. I'm trying to remember exactly what the order of the grid was, but I'm pretty sure I'm absolutely stone dead last, which is not my best moment. We've got another interview with Claire where I'm about to piss her off incredibly. Yeah, I am dead last. So yeah, not my finest moment, but it is what it is.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. What was your teammate's secret to success today? You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge?
Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne for what no doubt will be an intense day of racing. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. It's just about time to go to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we do, Anthony Davidson, what types of strategy do you think we can expect for today's event?
Well, there's a lot that both the driver and the team have to keep in mind when going into a race. The tyres, fuel, energy recovery systems, the list goes on and on. But I think the key to today's victory will come down to the pit stop strategy. Come in too soon and you might find yourself needing more than one stop. Too late and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by spending longer on worn tyres.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo and Vettel, Stroll, Verstappen, Giovinazzi and Lando Norris. Leclerc, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Raikkonen, Nicholas Latifi and Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty. Gasly, the engineer, Yuki Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher. Russell, Ticktum, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin and Fernando Alonso rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Here we are then, this is where the fun begins, and as my notes say here, first race start up until spin out. Something else I've instructed Tom to do when editing these highlights is not to edit out my mistakes, or at least not edit out all of the mistakes. Some of them do still get cut for various reasons. This one though, I mean that crash wasn't the mistake. This one I wanted to keep in, mainly because, you know, it's not great. Attempts 2, 3, 4 have been cut out. This is attempt number 5. Again, I'm just checking the notes to make sure that's correct. Yep, 5th and final race start, down to 17th from 16th. So I got overtaken there by Schumacher went past. Schumacher then smashed into the side of Ocon there as well, which I thought was quite funny. That wasn't me. I had literally nothing to do with me. That was all AI. Decided to have that little accident there, which proves it's not just me who misses braking points and things like that. And that was a nice little send up the inside, and I actually made it stick somewhat until this part, and then it just went. I think I'm too ginger on the... is that a way of saying it? You say gingerly, don't you? I'm too precarious on the old go pedal coming out of some of these corners because I don't want to spin out. But again, real life drivers do it. We saw Schumacher had a spin, a couple of spins in fact. Leclerc had a spin in the race yesterday, which I didn't see coming. I thought he was going to get Perez, but he pushed too hard. That just goes to show that fastest lap at this stage of the season isn't actually as important as the Ferrari team might want you to believe. Where are we now then? We are coming up to Alonso overtaking on the first corner. Yes, here he comes. It does help his case that I went way too deep into the first corner there, and you saw there the back end wanted to spin around. I had to fight to hold on to it there. Coming up to, is this turn 5? Turn 6? Turn 3? I can't even remember. Again, the layout I'm used to is the new configuration, so you'll have to excuse me for getting corner numbers wrong. DRS now enabled. Oh yeah, that was just the first 2 laps, guys. This is lap 3 of 15. And actually, I got myself around there pretty well. I am stone dead last at this point. I'm a few seconds behind the chasing pack, and I'm a couple of seconds behind Dan, who himself is not having a great race by the looks of things. Where are we up to now? 11.5 minutes in, so this is my fastest lap of the race. Yeah. There is a small cut coming up in a second because I do use a flashback because I messed up again. My DRS broke. Yep, that's something else that happened. I think I got some wear on the engine at some point as well. Only one more race of the season, so I might just go for the penalty. In fact, I think I already have decided to go for the penalty. 60 place grid penalty for changing everything in the engine. Just going to suck up the punishment and go from there. This used to be my favourite part of the track, this bit here, because you just dab the brake and you can just throw it around completely on there, but not anymore. Not anymore. Not right now for me anyway. In the future again I will be able to, but not right now for me. Awful mistake. And then because you use flashback, sometimes you're in the middle of a corner and you've got to try and match the steering wheel to where your character's holding it, and then you end up spinning out and stuff like that. I think there was like 3 flashbacks there that Tom cut out. Kept in the first one. And yeah, just it's a slog, this game. I must admit I'm enjoying it a little less at the moment because of the slog. But yeah, there it is, confirmation fastest lap. We're now on lap 8, I think. There you go, lap 8. I always forget where the start line is in Australia. It's so far down the straight. Came in way too hot getting into turn 1, probably locked up there as well. Coming down the back straight in just a second here. Again, this corner here was one I despised. This one, the penultimate corner, which is the one I thought I would struggle on, I actually didn't do too bad on it, to be honest. I didn't do any worse than I normally would, so I take that as a good thing. There's not many of them, so I'll take what I can get right now. Here comes Mazepin to go past, and we are stone dead last again. But we are coming into the pits. Not really much to say about this one. Don't think we had front wings changed or anything like that. It was just a straight tyre change. 2.4 seconds though, that's pretty quick. Especially for our team, that's very, very quick. And then the game is about to chuck me back out on the track right at the entrance to turn 1. And again, locked up immediately. Almost went straight on. Here we are now on lap 10. And this is the part where I no longer finish last because Ocon retires for what I think is the 2nd race in a row, is it not? And we go past him in a second. Almost crashed into him because I thought he was going to be on the left-hand side, and he wasn't. He was on the right. There's us going around that little chicane there. Again, I actually think I handled that one quite well. Move across to the left, went way too far to the left and cut across the grass. That was really dumb. And now we're about to get lapped. As you see here, we've got, I think it's Verstappen behind, and then Hamilton. I think it's Hamilton. It might be Bottas. I'm pretty sure it's Hamilton. And yeah, this part of the track here, I quite like this part of the track. It's the second right-left chicane that I'm not a huge fan of, because that first right-hander is so tight. in comparison. This one here even feels easier, even though this right-hander is basically the same. I was on the wrong part of the track there. Nope, it's not this part of the track either. It's the previous bit. The right-left before the left-right, if that makes sense. But we got... I was about to say we got one lap left, but no, this is the end of my race because the lead car is about to finish the race. I think it might be Perez, but I'm pretty sure it's Verstappen. Here comes the Mercedes as well, whichever one that is. It is Perez who wins the race. Well, it's nice to have a change at least. Not a fan of either Red Bulls, to be honest, but it's nice to have a change. And that is the end of the race. Not my best. Again, it's a bit like Canada earlier in the season where I came dead last. That time it was because of rain. This time it's because I'm a terrible driver. But hey-ho, you roll with the punches.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I think it has to be Fernando Alonso. He got the strategy spot on and consistently had the pace to come through as well.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So you can see here where everyone finished. I'm just going to have a little chat here quickly before we shoot over to Claire again. She does still want to talk to me, I believe, after everything that, I've been blanking her and stuff like that. She's starting to get the idea, and you saw at the end of practice, she wasn't starting the question off with, good day today, let's have your take on it. She actually said, oh, something went wrong, let's have your take on it. She wants my take on things a lot, doesn't she? But yeah, she's about to ask me something very, very similar, or say something very, very similar, so let's head over there and hear that now.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season. Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today? Great. Well, that's everything.
Here we go then with the highlights. Not that there are many, of course, but there are some at the start of the race. I suppose you see a couple of overtakes and then we get done again on the overtake back. Not the worst start, actually. I kind of take the middle line fairly quickly. I think it's just the AI are on rails a lot of the time at the start, whereas me, I have to struggle with, tyre grip and things like that. They tend to just go. My thing about shifting up gears immediately at the start, it does still work, but you have to be in like third or fourth before you can really put your foot down. And while I'm still learning how to do that, the AI are getting the jump on me. So I'm learning just very, very slowly. Very slowly. And it's always a couple of weeks between races for me at the moment because of the way my schedule's working out. So every time I learn something, I then have to relearn it the next time I go racing again. So I keep saying it's a frustrating experience and it makes it sound like I'm falling out of love with the game or something, which I'm not. I do still look forward to playing the game. It's just right now it is an absolute slog trying to keep all four wheels on the track pointing in the right direction. You see there, like turn one, every lap pretty much I was going wide and going off. But if you brake too early going into the corners, you get done by the car behind you. Obviously when you're running last, there is no car behind you, but I mean, that one, I got punted off by, was it Mazepin? There, which I'm really not happy about. That was a very frustrating part of the race as well. And then the rest of the race highlights here is just me driving around by myself. Oh, there goes the bollard. Apparently those bollards can actually cause damage in the game, which is something I wasn't aware of. So I'm going to look out for those now moving forward. But yeah, this is basically the end of the highlights. So I'm going to start. Oh, there's a lockup. Oh, God, that's ugly. I am going to start wrapping up the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, which is a stretch of the word, but there we are. Or if you're enjoying the series so far, drop some comments down below. Let me know. Any advice on how to drive the car would be very, very much appreciated. But besides all that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. I'm just going to watch me come around the last couple of corners here. I did knock someone into the gravel there, and I also knocked over a bollard there as well. Was it Russell I knocked off? I think it was. He does get past me again on the pit stops, so it's not like he stays in front or anything. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, I will see you soon.